Imagine this, you've been married for 12 years, you love your husband, you really do. But one ordinary Tuesday afternoon, while folding laundry in a quiet house, you catch yourself daydreaming about another man's voice, his laughter, the way he actually looks at you when you speak. And for the first time in years, you feel something electric run through your body, something that feels dangerously alive. Your heart races, your stomach flips, and almost immediately the guilt floods in. Yet underneath the guilt is a whisper you can't silence. I deserve to feel this again. That moment, that quiet collision between loyalty and longing, is where today's conversation begins. Because I want to talk about something most people only whisper about behind closed doors. The 6 hidden reasons why a married woman, someone just like the woman you might know, or even someone like you might one day decide to have a lover. I'm the intimacy doctor, real talk, real science, real intimacy. And today we're going deep, not to judge, not to shame, but to understand, because the more honestly we can look at the human heart, the more power we have to heal it, protect it, or set it free in healthier ways. Let's start with the first reason, and maybe the most painful one: emotional starvation. You can live in a house full of people and still die of emotional hunger. Research from the Gottman Institute shows that happy couples turn toward each other's bids for connection about 86% of the time. In distressed marriages, only 33%. That means 2 out of every 3 times she reaches for him, emotionally speaking, he's not there. Maybe he's scrolling, maybe he's stressed from work, maybe he just doesn't know how. But over months, then years, those missed moments pile up like unpaid emotional debts. And the heart keeps its own brutal accounting. When a woman repeatedly says, "I had the worst day," and gets a "huh" in return, or "I feel so alone," and gets silence, her nervous system starts to register her marriage as an unsafe place to feel. So when someone new finally turns toward her, really sees her, asks, "How are you really?" and waits for the answer, it can feel like oxygen after holding her breath for a decade. It's not about sex yet. It's about being witnessed. Have you ever felt invisible in your own life? Pause for a second and notice what comes up in your body when you ask yourself that. The second reason flows so naturally from the first: the slow death of erotic connection. We now know from the work of Dr. Esther Perel and decades of attachment research that desire needs mystery, novelty, and a sense of separateness to stay alive. But marriage, especially long-term marriage with kids, mortgages, and carpools, does the opposite. It creates merging, predictability, and responsibility. When the only touch in the house is a tired kiss on the cheek or a quick hug that smells like stress, the erotic brain starts to shut down. Oxytocin still flows from cuddling and co-parenting, but dopamine, the chemical of wanting, goes dormant. Then one day she meets someone who looks at her like she's fascinating again, like she's not just mom, or the wife, or the one who handles everything. That gaze alone can wake up a body that's been asleep for years. And here's what's hard to admit: sometimes the lover isn't even more attractive than the husband. He's just looking, really looking. If you're watching this and you feel a little sting in your chest, stay with me. This isn't about blame. It's biology meeting unmet need. From there, we slide into reason 3, the collapse of self. So many women I work with describe marriage as the place where their individuality quietly evaporated. They became the family manager, the emotional container, the one who remembers dentist appointments and birthdays and everyone's feelings. Over time, the I gets replaced by we, and not in a beautiful way, in an erasing way. When another man says, "Tell me about you, what do you dream about, what makes you light up?" it can feel like someone finally handed her back the missing pieces of herself. This is where affairs often become less about the other person and more about reclaiming a self that was lost. I've had clients cry in my office saying, "I didn't even realize how much of me had died until he asked what music I loved and I couldn't remember." If that lands for you, breathe into it. You're allowed to have a self inside your relationship. In fact, your relationship dies without it. And that brings us to reason 4, unresolved resentment that's turned toxic. John Gottman's research is crystal clear. The single biggest predictor of divorce is contempt, And contempt is born from years of swallowed pain. When a woman stuffs down, you never help. You dismissed my feelings again. I'm exhausted and you don't see me. For so long that eventually the only feeling left is cold fury. But most women are socialized to be nice, so that fury has nowhere to go. Until someone new comes along who says, "You deserve to be treated like you matter." Suddenly, being adored feels like revenge and relief at the same time. The lover becomes proof that she's not crazy, not too sensitive, not asking for too much. He validates the pain she's been told to minimize for years. And yes, this is dangerous territory, because validation from the wrong source can destroy everything. But pain always finds a way out. The question is whether it comes out as honest communication and repair or as betrayal. Reason 5 is quieter, more existential. The terror of waking up at 80 having never felt fully alive. Midlife, especially for women in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, brings a brutal clarity. You look around and realize half your life is gone. The kids are launching, the body is changing, the mirror shows time marching across your face, and suddenly the question isn't, am I happy? It's, did I ever even live? When desire has been dormant for 15 years, the prospect of never feeling it again can feel like a kind of death. An affair becomes, in the moment, a desperate grasp at proof that she's still vibrantly, undeniably alive. I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining the raw human panic underneath it. We all have limited time, and the heart screams when it feels that time being wasted. And finally, reason 6, the one nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes she chooses a lover because the marriage has become a place where she is punished for having needs. Every time she asks for more intimacy, more help, more romance, she gets Ols defensiveness, or I'm doing my best. So she learns to make herself small. But human beings cannot survive emotional shrinkage forever. When someone new says, "Your needs are not too much, they are beautiful," it can feel like salvation. The affair becomes the only place where her fullness is welcomed instead of managed. Now here's the part I really want you to hear, because this is where the healing lives. None of these reasons are about being a bad person. They're about being a hurting person. And hurt people make choices from pain when they don't have tools to make choices from truth. The women I've worked with who have had affairs almost universally say the same thing afterward. I wish I'd had the courage to speak my pain instead of act it out. Because affairs don't fix the starvation. They just move it somewhere else. So if you're watching this and you recognize yourself in any of these reasons, whether you've acted on them or not, please hear me, your longing is valid. Your pain is real, and there is a path that doesn't require destroying your life to reclaim it. It starts with ruthless self-awareness, brave conversations, sometimes therapy, sometimes a complete renegotiation of the relationship. But it is possible to wake up inside your marriage. It is possible to be seen, to feel desire to matter, without betraying yourself or someone else. And if you're watching this and you're the partner who's been distant, dismissive, or unaware, this is your wake-up call too. Love is not a noun, it's a verb, and it requires daily turning toward, daily curiosity, daily choosing. Because the alternative is watching the person you love disappear right in front of you, until one day she finds her reflection in someone else's eyes. Take a breath with me. What came up for you watching this? Did something hit close to home? Did it make you angry? Sad, relieved to finally hear it named? Drop it in the comments. No judgment here. Just a community of people trying to understand the beautifully messy human heart. And if this video helped you feel less alone, less crazy, less ashamed, tap that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more people who need the permission to feel what they feel. Thank you for trusting me with your time and your heart today. If you want more conversations like this, real talk about intimacy, emotional connection, trust, and the science of staying alive inside love, hit subscribe and turn on the little bell, because every week we go deep into the stuff most people are afraid to say out loud. And when you're ready for the next step, watch the video popping up right now called How to Rebuild Desire in a Dead Bedroom Without an Affair. Because the same energy that drives people to betray can, when redirected, reignite the very marriage they were ready to leave. I'll see you there. You are not alone, and you are so worth the work of real intimacy.